The Lionheart is back. Anthony Smith is back. Anthony, we were all devastated. A lot of people were invested in the fight. Obviously, you were invested as well. Take it away, man. Talk us through it from your perspective. Obviously, you've got the number one perspective. Talk us through it, mate.
Man, from the training camp, I stand behind everything I said. I was as good as I've ever been. The weight cut was a little harder than I thought it was going to be, but not terrible. I checked in at 230, was 226 by fight night again, so it was all good there. Excuse me. I felt like the fight was going well. There was a couple things, like nothing he did surprised me. I think I expected him to be better. He wasn't as good as I expected him to be. He wasn't as big as I expected him to be either. I thought he was going to come at me a little more. I thought, with some of the things he was saying during the fight week, I felt a lot of disrespect in the media leading up to it.
Oh, really?
But felt nothing but respect when we were in there. So, I get why he has lackluster performances. He won't fight. Like he only wants to counter. He's trying to catch you on your way in or your way out. He didn't land anything, I don't think, punch-wise.
No.
Significant on our feet at all.
There was nothing significant at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
You got through with a couple of right hands. Sorry, pardon.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. And I thought, in that we trained that we were going to use the straight right hand a lot because he's so lead hand heavy and so am I. So one of us had to do something a little different. Like we were going to cancel each other out on the lead side, which is exactly what we did. It was a lot of feinting and a lot of like half jabs, half hooks because both of us are so lead hand heavy. I got through with a couple right hands and really the first round was kind of just to gather information. I wasn't trying. The plan was never to go out and try to finish him in the first. I wanted to pressure him and get him uncomfortable and get him outside of his box and see what he would do. And I did that. Like I felt really good about everything that happened in the first round. I wasn't even I was willing to throw away the first round just to see what he was going to do. I think about the minute 30 mark. Don't quote me on the exact time, but about the minute 30 mark, I think I threw a hard overhand, and we were going rear leg to his left side. Well, so I went high kick a couple times and I went overhand a couple times, and that was only just to keep his left hand home. Because that was the only danger. That's the danger when you're opposite stances. So if I can keep his left hand home, and occupy his lead hand, then he doesn't really have a lot going on. So I threw this hard overhand and it was just a little short and he came back with a hard leg kick and my whole leg went numb. Like it was an inside leg kick. It went numb from the knee down. So it was only like 20 seconds, 15 seconds. It came back pretty quick, but I didn't really think anything of it, like just hit a weird nerve and, your leg goes numb. But shortly after that, we got tangled up like in a weird kind of kick, how it gets with opposite stances, just feet get tangled up sometimes. And I went to step back with my left foot and there wasn't anything there. It was it was weird. So I went down.
Is that when you rolled over?
That's when I ended up on. No, this is when I ended up on my back at the end of the first when we were kicking at each other.
Sorry, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, we'll play this game. I knew he wasn't going to come in. And I was like, well, if I took a hard kick, let's just let the feeling come back completely. And then we'll just start again in a second.
See, just let me jump in there. See, that makes total sense now. Because when I was watching, I was like, fucking hell, Anthony, get up. But obviously, I don't know that you're going through a fucking trauma in your leg. So that makes total sense.
And at that time, I just thought it was just a weird kick or whatever. But then I stood up and the first step I took, I felt it clicking in my leg. And it just it sounded like every step I took. And I was like, fuck. So then I went back and I just sat in the corner and I was like, motherfucker. So then,
did you know right then and there in your mind?
Right away. First step, I knew it was broken.
And did you say that in the corner after round one?
No, they seen me limp and they were putting ice on my knee. They thought it was my knee, and I said no, it's lower, like my ankle. So I put those two things together. Like in my head, I thought well, fuck, it had to have been the kick then. But like, you don't always know exactly where it lands. I just know it was on my leg, and my leg went numb, and then I stood up and couldn't walk right. So I put those two things together. So I thought that the kick did something to my leg. Well, so I go out there and I think, well, if I take another kick, in my head, I was like, if I take another kick, I'm going to end up looking like fucking Weidman. So I need to not take another one. That's what it felt. It felt like my leg bone was going into the bottom of my foot. So I was like, well, I'll just pressure him and get close and see how this goes. And then maybe I can tie him up or whatever.
Yeah.
So then I get in on the takedown, and I actually get in pretty deep on the single.
You were in deep.
I couldn't. I needed to get I could only like pressure him into the fence with my right leg. So my right leg was in the back, my left leg was in the front. So I couldn't get my hips under me to even lift him or even get the butt lock, because I couldn't drive forward with my left foot to pull my hips closer. So then I was like, well, I'll fucking try to pull guard or something. Maybe I can get a sweep. And it was, I got to the body lock exactly where I wanted to be. I just couldn't get my feet out from under me to come up, and I couldn't push off. So I was kind of just fucking stuck there, like, and then he realized I was hurt. So then he kind of teed off, and then just the ref had to step in, which I wasn't hurt like from the punches, but I was stuck. Like if he would have backed up, I don't know if I would have been able to get up anyways.
Yeah.
So, so I thought that it was from the kick. And as we look back at the tape and like go through the doctors, all the bullshit, there's no way that break was caused from a kick. From where it is, it's not something that, like, from outward trauma, you're not going to break that bone. So they don't actually know when it happened.
So it's do you think it's when you stepped back weirdly, kind of like Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier?
It could have been me stepping back funny on it. It also, there was twice that, so before the doctor even knew, because my orthopedic surgeon's a friend, so he was at the fight. He flew down to watch. And he didn't know that this happened, but he said he says he sees it a lot, like in football players, and where they're running with the ball and they'll step on like a lineman's foot, and then the lineman will move their foot and it like pulls their body all funny and rolls their ankle kind of in, like rolls it inward and not outward like you would typically roll your ankle. And right before he kicked me and my leg went numb, I was stepping on his foot. So we were having that lead foot battle, and it happened twice. I stepped on his foot and he pulled it out, and then it drug my body forward and my ankle kind of went all funny. And then right after that, he banged that inside kick real hard. So it's something like that. I know that in the media and whatever, it's been reported that was from a kick. It's 100% not. It's not from a kick. It's just a fucking shit luck.
And that's what it is. Unfortunately, in this fucking sport, so many things can go wrong. When Tom Aspinall fought Curtis Blades, I chose the wrong words. I said, "Oh, this is a dangerous combat sport." What I should have said was, "Anything can happen." But the reality is, it is a dangerous combat sport. And you go out there and you lay it all on the line, and what will be, and hopefully the best man wins. But shit goes wrong. People get fucking hurt, and it seems to be a bit more common these days. Obviously, we had Tom, we had Yair Rodriguez and Ortega. We had you, McGregor, obviously versus Poirier, but that was way last year. Weidman, Uriah Hall. I mean, fucking hell. So how's it feeling right now?
It hurts like hell. Yeah, it hurts real bad.
Scale of 1 to 10.
When I'm sitting here, like a 3. When I'm having to move around, it's like a 7. It's bad because it's just not. Yeah, it's not stable. It's super swollen. It looks like it's black and blue. It looks like shit. But
so you going for surgery?
Yeah, they were going to do it today, but the swelling is.
But you had to do the podcast.
And I had to do the podcast.
You're like, fuck the surgery. You got to do the podcast.
Yeah, so they're actually doing it Saturday morning.
So let me ask you this: when you have that surgery, will you have a titanium shin bone?
No, so it's in such a weird spot they can't even plate it. So it's
right.
They have to
fuse it together or something.
It's pins and screws. So it's in a weird spot. It's like a continuation of my leg bone. It's a medial malleosis break. So
the medial malleosis.
Yeah, that one.
Familiar.
And then there's another bone that's like dislocated that won't go back in until they fix it. So
right. So they got to go in there.
It's such a funk. It's not like a typical combat sports break. Like it's a weird. Dr. D, Dr. D.
Yeah, of course.
Said in 29 years he's never seen it in combat sports.
Really? For those that don't know, Dr. D, that's Dr. Davidson, longtime head doctor, chief medical advisor for the UFC. Great guy. And he's never seen that in 29 years, you say?
Never seen it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And it's apparently it's a really, I mean, it's in my ankle, but it's a continuation of my leg bone actually into my ankle. So it's ankle, leg, what the fuck? There's
a lot of, I don't know what there is, but there's going to be some good jokes out there though. Ankle live and the ankle.
Oh, they're all over the place.
I'm not funny enough to think of one, but I will think of one eventually and I'll get you with it. But fuck, man. So,
fuck, I felt so good. God damn.
Dude,
you know what pisses me off?
No,
I can't.
Exactly.
I go back and watch it. I didn't do one thing wrong.
You looked good.
I had one of the best performances of my life in the first round, and I was like backing off of the gas a little bit. Like the whole time, I was like, "This is so fucking easy." Like this is exactly what I knew. This is what in my head.
Pictured in your mind.
This is exactly how this is supposed to go in this first round. And you even hear my corner in the second, like going into the second. Obviously, they didn't know how badly I was hurt, but Scotty was pumped. He was like, "That's exactly what we want." Okay, now. You know what the plan is. Go to the second round and now pressure him, push him back, walk him down.
Yep.
Like we needed to see in the first round how hard it was going to be to take the center of the octagon. And I suspected it was going to be hard, and it wasn't.
No, you backed him up the whole time.
He didn't fight me.
You controlled the real estate.
Yeah. There was one time where, I kind of went to shake it out and I took a step back and then just I don't know, checked out my surroundings for a second. And when he realized I was back, you could tell like his whole mindset flipped. Like, oh, I can go forward now. And I was like, no, bitch. No, but like he's a different fighter when he's moving forward. And I could tell just in those 5 seconds where he thought I was going to let him back me to the fence that he kind of turned on a little bit and became who he is. And I fought him back to the center and took it back. And he went back to kind of backpedaling and feinting and trying to figure out how he could get in. So I don't want to take anything from him because I mean, at the end of the day, his body held up longer than mine did. It's but it's not like he did anything to me that broke my ankle. I kind of did it to myself. And
no, exactly.
And he's good, man. I mean, he's good, but he's not as like that fight didn't prove anything I said before wrong. He's not that fucking guy. Like I said, he wasn't. He's not the boogeyman in the division. And all he needed was someone who wasn't afraid of him and is going to say, this is my fucking space and I'm taking it. And like, to be fair, like, got a lot of respect for the guy, but I feel like he's going to have a tough time with some of those guys at the top. He's going to have a tough time.
Well, if anything, Anthony, that speaks to, where you're at with your game. Because he is good. He is good. Yeah. We can't sit here and pretend that he's not good.
No, not at all. I wouldn't do that.
And it's always a tricky one, isn't it? Because the reality is you did snap your leg. Which is a fucking crying shame. And so you're going to sit here and obviously explain it. There's going to be critics out there saying, oh, he's, he got beat fair and square. He's blaming it on a fucking leg break. Hey, listen, if you go out there and you fight and your leg fucking snaps, there's fuck all you can do. That's why, that answers a lot of questions for him, because in the second round you were trying to take it down. And I was like, I thought was that a part of the game plan just to mix things up? Or was that adjusting on the fly? Because obviously you're not
adjusting on the fly.
Them out on your feet using your footwork, are you? You know what I mean?
No, that was just an adjustment on the fly. I just thought like I said, like my thought process was if I take another kick, I'm going to be flopping around over here like an idiot, like Weidman. So I didn't want that to happen. And then, so I go to the hospital, like they transport me right away. And the hospital was kind of a joke, to be honest with you. It was like kind of a trauma center in a real shit part of Dallas. And they clearly didn't want us there, to be very honest with you. Yeah, they didn't.
Well, they can be like that. It's like, well, you caused this injury to yourself.
Yeah.
We've got
poor Semmelsberger was there. God damn, he looked like shit when I walked in.
Oh, really?
Like they wheeled me in. Semmelsberger looked terrible, man. I felt so bad for that guy because he just, man, he looked awful. He was banged up, bro. He was bad.
I'm just texting my wife because it's fucking freezing in here. My God, the air conditioning is blowing. It's always, please turn AC down. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, they didn't want us there.
They don't. But I remember it's always a weird one when you're at the hospital with another comrade, another casualty of war, shall we say? Do you know what I mean? You're like, hey, what's up, bud?
I wanted to go in and just give him a hug because I felt terrible for him, man. He just, like when you roll by the room and you glance over in the room as they're rolling you by.
Who did he fight again?
Man, I don't even remember that guy's name. Shit.
whatever,
I don't remember.
whatever.
But I obviously recognize Semmelsberger because he's I like watching him fight.
Yeah, no, he's fun. Yes,
But-
Harrington, who was it?
Alex Morono.
Ah, of course it was.
That's
What
right.
am I saying? What am I saying?
That's
yeah.
right.
So, Anthony, the big question remains then, when do you think you'll be fight ready again?
I mean, I'd like to fight by the end of the year. I think that's probably a bit
Optimistic?
I think that's a bit optimistic.
I think it is.
Yeah.
We're in fucking August. You've just snapped your leg. I mean, God bless you. That's why you're the Lionheart.
I don't know, 10, 12 weeks. Maybe I'll be back, at least back to where I can start getting and that's the shitty part. Like I just fucking did this leg thing with the other one.
Yeah.
So then I come back and then this one's all fucked up and it's, you know how it goes. Like your leg's all fucked up, you're non-weight bearing, then you lose muscle on your leg, it atrophies, and then so even when you're healthy
what
again,
McGregor's done, whatever supplements he's taking,
fuck right.
Yeah, there you go.
But then you're like your
Anthony
cardio
Smith
shit.
at heavyweight.
Yeah, your cardio shit, your leg is weak, so then you got to build up the strength in your leg before you can even start a fucking training camp. It's just it's all fucked. And I'm trying not to be the poor pitiful me guy.
No, but you're not. You're not. You're allowed to be down about it. You were excited. Hopefully, you were going to get a title shot off the back of that. And I'm not trying to make you feel worse, but I'm just rubbing it in now. But it's true. Yeah. But I've been there. I've been there many times. I got to number one contender matchups 3 times, lost them all. Various circumstances.
Yeah, fuck, that's twice. That's twice now. Well, hey, 3rd time's a charm then, right?
I said this on Monday. You can't give up on yourself, though. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just, you got to look at it as a bump in the road. You're still young. You're still 34, right? So you still got lots of time. I said this Monday, but it's true. Once you give up on yourself, then it's over. If you don't give up on yourself and keep fucking trying, hey, listen, bud, you're one of the best in the world. Didn't go your way. There was fucking circumstances surrounding it that you can, take some positives away. So it's not like you went out there and got your ass kicked from pillar to post and got outclassed. You know what I mean? You went out, you looked really good. You fucking broke your leg. And that's that. No one's winning a fight against a world-class opponent with a broken leg. It's just simple as that.
How old were you when you won the title?
37.
See, fuck, I still got 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Glover Teixeira did it at 41.
Right.
And I know you're not planning on fucking...
no, I ain't trying to do that. But
7 years.
I mean, to be fair, like your journey, like we've talked about this before. I don't need to pump your ego or anything.
Oh, come on. Let's go.
We've talked about like your journey. I relate to a lot of it. Obviously, they're very different and we're significantly more popular than I am, but
stop it.
Like just getting so close a couple times and then it just, just shit happens, and just got the worst luck. But I feel like at the end, when you finally get it, it makes it that much sweeter. Better.
It really does. It's amazing. And you'll get there. I firmly believe that. I really do. I mean, you looked good. It's a shame, but you just got to fucking, have a few bush lights, get the surgery done.
Get it fixed and do it
feel
again.
sorry for yourself for a week or two. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a natural part of the process. Because in your mind, you think you're going to win. You have this plan set out, don't you? You see the future in your mind, and it's completely derailed. But only for the time being. Only for the time being.
Well, and I do appreciate. I've had a lot of the believers reach out. It's been all week long leading up to it. The post fights, everything afterwards. Like I've stayed off of social media because you know how it goes and. I got 97 million people calling for my retirement and you know how it is, but I've gotten a lot of like support and respect, and it's been super cool. That's why I wanted to come here. And
I put
when I did come out, I wanted to be here.
No, well, thank you, because no doubt you've had a ton of media requests, and just so we all know, Anthony Smith put the Believe You Me podcast first. He said, "I'm not speaking to anyone until we speak to the believers." So well done for that. Thank you, we appreciate it. Even this morning, I put a tweet out asking for questions on the show. Whatever, it wasn't questions. Most of the messages were just tell Anthony we love him, tell him we're proud of him, and stuff like that.